6:08, it's the Mark Arum Show on a Friday, as Chris Kent mentioned in between flatulence there. That was fantastic, by the way. It's 90 degrees on Peachtree Street, and it's a 9 on the Mark Arum Show back sweat meter.
That's it?
Well, I got in my... You think it should be higher?
I don't know.
It's cooled down in the last 30 minutes.
Okay.
Because when I got in my car, the in-dash thing,
Yeah.
thermometer, they call it.
Sure.
Some people call it a thermometer. 114. 114. Oof. So I was just like, yeah, it's a 9.
Okay.
It's a 9. Can you believe? All right, so it's September 27th, right? 26th, 27th. It's 90 degrees on September 27th, and it's already September 27th. This year has flown by completely. I can't believe it's almost the end of September already.
Because it still feels like summer.
Is that what it is?
Don't you think? Like
I don't know what it is.
Summer.
This is 90 degrees outside the last month.
But it's the end of September already.
Yeah.
This year has just zipped by, like blink of an eye. So much so that I'm like, I got to make plans for Christmas. You know, it's already that time to make plans for Christmas. I was just at...
We can go up to Montana. It's going to snow a foot if you want to get in the Christmas spirit.
I would love to go there right now.
I would too.
So every Christmas, I go home to see my parents in Connecticut, and traditionally, I will drive with Bosco. Unfortunately, I mean, she's getting older. It's a tougher thing. In and out of the car. We got to stop and get gas. The traffic sucks. And I don't want to be one of those dudes that, this is my emotional support animal, and I get a fake little thing and I fly with her.
You absolutely should do that.
But I'm not, I mean, I don't want to game the system.
That's Bosco. Stop.
I understand. And she
it's
does.
It's not a chicken or a donkey.
Exactly.
You know?
They would love her too.
I think so, but I mean, I don't know. I'm hesitant to do it because I don't know. I've never flown with a dog, and I'm not going to put her in the belly. You know, no, I'm not going to do that with her weak heart and everything. I don't know. I'm like cautious. I'm hesitant to do it because I don't want to be that guy that gets the emotional support thing. And I have never taken a dog to the airport. I don't know the process there. Will they let her in the crown room with me? Is it good?
I mean, yeah. Oh, yeah. If it's they'll
emotional support.
Yeah,
all right. I could just hear her trying to grab the food off the thing.
Oh yeah.
So what I thought about doing was taking Amtrak.
I looked into Amtrak once. I thought that'd be cool.
So I was like, I'll take Amtrak.
There's different definitions.
The track is
that
cool.
Does not sound cool at all.
Well, I've never done...
The idea of taking a train sounded kind of neat, yeah.
Yeah, I've never done like a long-term train. And when I was in Japan, I did the bullet train around. That was really cool. But in the States, I've never done a long train. It's kind of like cool, old school. And I'm like, so I was actually thinking about this. Like, I'll do Amtrak.
It's about an 8-day trip.
I think it's 2 days from here to Connecticut.
Not any cheaper than flying.
I'm not worried about the price. I'm worried about the hassle. Like, I really don't want to drive anymore.
Yeah.
It's a crappy drive. It's a lot of holiday traffic, construction, and tolls. It's a pain. And then I've got my dog. So I was thinking, well, I'll do Amtrak maybe and get one of those, sleeping cars.
Oh, yeah. You'd like that.
Really pimp out. But Amtrak just announced that they're dropping dining cars next week.
All of them? Or
yeah.
Okay.
They're all going to start sell prepackaged meals.
Oh, no way.
So I don't know. But I was just hoping to tap into the vast resources of the Mark Arum Show listeners to find out if you've ever done a long Amtrak train or whatever kind of train service. And will it be acceptable to A, to use my dog? B, what if she has to go to the bathroom? Like I thought about that. Like, is the train going to do potty stops, potty break? What do I have to do? Like a little piece of grass?
Oh, that'd be great.
Some
they got a little turf.
Yeah, exactly. So I just want, if anyone's done that, I would love some guidance on doing a long train journey like that, and if it's possible or feasible to do it with an animal. 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB Talk. So you've looked into it, Deb, but you've never done one?
I thought about taking it down to my parents because flights are really expensive down there. But of course, they live in the middle of nowhere, and the train doesn't even go that far. So
the train will take me, Amtrak, and then I switch over to Metro North. It will take me like 20 minutes from my parents' house. And then
that's nice.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And then it's a shady ass train station where I'll get dropped off.
But you get picked up, right?
In Waterbury. I remember when I had my engagement dinner in Connecticut years ago, and I had two buddies from Atlanta fly up, and they flew into New York and took the train up, and they were scared. of Waterbury, Connecticut. They're like, hurry up, get here now. This is crazy because it's not really, it's just like a stop. There's no like train station.
Oh, sure.
So they're just in the middle of the hood. And
I want to know what Connecticut hood is.
Waterbury's kind of sketchy.
Because my hood is like, I grew up in the Chicago-y hood. That's the only hood I know. I can't imagine it being very similar.
It's very sketchball. Waterbury, if anyone knows Connecticut, Waterbury is the Brass City, as it was referred to. The Brass City. I'm sure it was elegant back in the turn of the century when they had the brass mill cooking on the Naugatuck River, but it's a sketchball thing. So if you have any advice on taking a dog on Amtrak or train travel in general, I'd love to hear from you. 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB-TALK. Some breaking news, Jason Byers on the other side of the takeout window.
Where is Hector?
My broken used headphones have sold, Low T Chuck. The auction closed about 20 minutes ago.
Nice.
The winning bid was $403. So we've raised $403 for my broken autographed headphones.
Nice.
They're historic. It's a piece of history.
Yeah.
They've been at WSB here for over 14 years, signed by myself, Clark Howard, Scott Slade, Eric Von Hessler, and Erickson's going to sign them on Monday, and then I'll ship them out on Monday. So thanks to the listener that bought them. That was very cool. $403. I was hoping to get like $50 or $60 out of them. But $403, that's amazing.
That's nice.
Yeah, that's amazing. So
old, dirty headphones.
Yes. Well, I mean, I'll clean them up a little bit. I'll sanitize them, but I don't want to mess with the autograph.
No, you don't want to mess with the authenticity.
Yeah, so I don't want to say the listener's name, but thank you so much. Mark McKay was just outbid at the last second. He bid $399. The winning bid was $403. Sorry, Smiling.
Hey.
It took me twice as long. I don't know what was going on Northside Drive. Maybe it was those climate protesters. Or I don't know what it was, but it was. I even called the traffic center, and David Hubbard's like, WSB traffic. I'm like, hey, Doodle, what's going on Northside Drive? A lot of cars. I was like, all right, thanks, Doodle. All right, let's give me some info on this train travel stuff. Amtrak up north. David's in Tyrone. What's going on, David?
Hey, when I was a kid, I hopped the freight train in Tyrone and wound up in Manchester, Georgia. It didn't cost me a nickel.
Where's Manchester, Georgia?
That's down south. It's right at the fall line.
What did you? How did you get back?
Well, me and my friend waited until the train was going back north on the same track and hopped on that one and wound up in Red Oak.
That reminds me of the movie
Stand
By Me. Do you remember Stand By Me? Where
Never saw it, brother.
Oh, really? It's a great coming of age movie, and these I don't know, 12, 13-year-old kids were
such a good movie.
Such a good movie. But remember the train dodge?
That was the best.
Teddy Duchamp dodging the train, and then Vern, the fat kid on the train tracks, running.
Trying to run.
I dropped my comb.
Yeah, his comb fell out. That's a great movie. You got to watch that, sir. Yeah. Josh is up on the Mark Arum Show. Josh, talk to me, brother.
Hey, so Amtrak's actually pretty cool. When I lived in City, Louisiana, I'd go from Shreveport to Killeen all the time. You stop about maybe every 50, 60 miles for, 10 or so minutes. So you got enough time to get out and walk around.
That's encouraging. I like that.
Although it does suck that they're losing the dining cars.
Yeah.
It was always fun to go down there and get trashed on the train.
Well, again, I'm gonna be having my sweet 14-year-old Beagle with me, but that'd be good if we stop every 2 hours. Let her pee. Let me go get a burger at McDonald's and then jump back on the train. My luck, I would miss the train though. I'd come back. I have to go to the bathroom or something, and I'd be late getting back on the train. I'd be stuck in West Virginia. Smiling said, "Randy's in Dawsonville." Randy, welcome to the Mark Arum Show.
Hey, how you doing, sir?
What's up, brother?
Not much. We went on a train trip back in June. It was my son's senior trip. We went from Chicago to Whitefish, Montana.
Hey, Whitefish, Chuck.
Oh man, it was the best trip I have ever been on. And you're talking about the sleeper car. When you get a sleeper car, your meals are included with that price.
Oh, no kidding. Deb's doing some research right now on that for me.
Where's the stop you need?
Where's
Say again?
I want to go to Waterbury, Connecticut, but just take me to New York, and then I can get on Metro North there. So how were the meal? Like, what was a typical meal?
It was good. It was good. Now, if you get a coach seat, it can be kind of pricey, but it was good. And it was the best. It was the best train trip or best trip I've ever been on. Can I mention?
What did you do in Whitefish, Montana? By the way, Randy, why was that your destination?
My son has always the train that goes for Chicago, the Whitefish, called the Empire Builder, and he is a train nut, and he has always wanted to ride that train. And he would, my oldest son went on to Seattle, and my youngest son stayed there. He would go to the train station all day, every day, and watch trains.
Very cool. All right, you said
it was.
You wanted to throw in one more thing, Randy? Go ahead, buddy.
I have a Facebook page. If you'd like to look at some of the pictures, it's called My Great Train Trips.
My Great Train Trips.
Our Great Train Trips.
Great Train Trips.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I got some of our pictures from there, but it was just the neatest trip I have ever been on. You'd love it.
Excellent. Thank you, Randy. Deb, you got any info for me yet?
Yeah, they range from $200 for your value all the way up to $700 for premium, but it also says no pets.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Yeah, there's got a big little dog and a lion with a circle.
What about emotional support pets?
It does not say that. It just says no pets.
Fudge sickle. Maybe Chuck will drive me up. Will you be my driver?
If you rent an RV, sure.
No pets, really?
No pets no pets are available for longer than 7 hours. It'd be more than 7 hours.
Yeah. All right. We'll come back. More of your train thoughts. We got a big show tonight. Comedian Pete Lee in studio. Brittany from Accessatl. 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB Talk. On Twitter and Instagram, at Mark Arum. This is The Mark Arum Show. Via my buddy Hans on the Piccadilly hotline said, if I do take the train, got to get the sleeper car. And he said the food was amazing. So there you go. Food was amazing on Amtrak. Who would have guessed? Shirley's in Lawrenceville. Shirley, real quick, what do you have, buddy?
Well, my son and I went from Atlanta to Slidell, Louisiana many years ago. You definitely have to get the sleeper. If you're going to a non-large type hub location, if you don't have the sleeper, you're going to have your luggage with you the entire time.
No, I can't have that.
They don't put it in the luggage car, and it is an extremely difficult trip. It's very tiring, especially, and they group people together, so everybody that's getting off at the same area you are is going to be grouped in
But
together.
at least you got to go to Slidell, Louisiana after the end of all that. I mean, it was worth the payoff was worth the trip. Thank you, Shirley. All right, mark that down, Deb. I'm not going to Slidell.
Got it.
And I'm getting that sleeper car if I do take it. More of your train-related calls when we come back after news, weather, and traffic. This is The Mark Arum Show. 6:39, 21 in front of 7. Mark Arum and the Bananas with you till 8 in the p.m. Don't forget you can listen to the show at home via Amazon Alexa and on the WSB Radio app, or check out our podcast, Deb Green. It's on iTunes and WSBRadio.com and wherever you listen to podcast stuff. So I'm debating whether or not to take Amtrak up to Connecticut this Christmas with Bosco instead of driving. The drive wears both me and Bosco out. Via the Piccadilly text line, Dave Baker says, make sure I get, this is the Home Fix-It show, Dave Baker, on the Piccadilly text line, get my own sleeper car with my own bathroom. Do not ride in coach. The coach bathrooms back up in about 5 minutes. I don't know if he means a line or if like the actual thing. Yeah. Well, I think that goes without saying. I'd rather have a bathroom than a bed, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I need one of those with my insides.
Did we figure out the dog situation?
Not yet.
Oh.
We'll work on it. I'll make some calls.
Yeah, you know people.
Deb Green says, what is it, 6 hours? No more than 6 hours?
7.
7 hours.
I said to do a 3-hour and then a 4-hour one. Or how long does it take to get there?
Why not just do a bunch of 7 hours? Why do I have to do a 3 and a 4? With all the
I'm just thinking more than 7. Was it 7:01? I don't know.
All right. So we'll check it out. Your thoughts and advice on the train travel. Beth's in Suwanee. Beth, welcome to the Mark Arum Show.
Hey, thanks, Mark.
What's up, Beth?
Hey, so not to be Debbie Downer, but I would not encourage you to take the train.
No?
For multiple reasons. No.
Okay.
My experience was about 15 years ago, so dated. But yes, to the other caller's point, you're designated your seat based on where you're getting off. So I was coming back from New York City to Atlanta, and it took over 24 hours to get home. The joke with one of my friends who was in New York City, he was flying back to New Zealand, and he made it home before I made it home. So that was always a joke between us.
Wow.
There was a lot of delays on the track, and then I took the nighttime train, so I got on about 5 or 6 p.m. in New York City, and then got back to Atlanta late Well, it was 24 hours, but
that doesn't seem that bad to me. I like 24 hours of not driving as opposed to 16 hours of driving. And if I do drive, it will take me over a day because I stop in like Fredericksburg, Virginia overnight and then continue. So I'm okay with the 24 hours, I guess.
Well, that's good. And then I did not take the sleeper car. I was in coach, and while there was a lot of room, I was by myself for almost half the trip, which was good and bad. Again, it was just dark most of the time.
I think I'd rather be alone.
And it was a little eerie.
I would,
yeah, right,
and I'm gonna have my sweet girl Bosco. By the way, so Bosco's a hound dog. Jason, you have a dog, a big dog though. What is it?
He's a Great Pyrenees, Franklin.
Great Pyrenees, whatever
about 125.
that is. 125 pounds, bigger than Deb Green by a lot.
Yeah,
heavier than Deb Green by a lot. So Bosco's a hound dog, and I guess through all the breeding, she's used to getting dinner for her master, right? But she's obviously not doing any hunting, and she's 14 or whatever. So it's funny. Every time we get Uber Eats to the house, she starts howling like, "Hey, I got you dinner!" Like it's her. She did it. Like she will not stop going crazy every time. And I get Uber Eats and Grubhub a lot. So every time the food comes, she's like, "I did it! Woo! Like I got you dinner, Mark." She doesn't call me Mark though. She calls me.
That'd be great if she did.
She calls me Arum. Jennifer's at Lawrenceville. Jennifer, welcome to the show.
Hey, that was adorable about your dog there.
Thank you.
I hope you can take, was it Bosco?
Yes, Bosco.
Okay. My call has to do more with the experience of being on a train. I personally love the train. I rode the train a lot in Europe. I did the sleeper club all the time. It was wonderful. Mm-hmm. Here in the States, I've only done it the longest I did was from Grand Central to Rochester, New York, but I did Albany to Rochester back and forth all the time while I was in college.
Well, I've done the Metro North thing. I've taken the train. I've just never done like this, a long trip like Atlanta to New York. That's a long one. Well, but the more I'm looking at online, I really think I might want to do like what that guy did out to Whitefish, Montana, like a cross country.
I always think of like those old Western trains when people talk about doing that. Yeah,
that's what I think. Those in Montana.
That'd be awesome.
Stuck up.
You can take those around Montana.
I don't want to go around. Like I want to go all.
No, but
the way.
You can go like basically the High Line. So
That'd
just south of Canada.
Yeah.
You can pretty much go from like Chicago and you loop up and you just kind of all the way to Seattle.
I think
it cuts across.
Very
Montana.
romantic and
it's cool.
Maybe I'll do that with Maya. Not this Christmas because we got to go to Connecticut. I don't know.
Do it over the winter. It's awesome.
I know I'm going to wind up driving because I don't want to be that D-bag that gets the support animal license or whatever. And the train doesn't seem like it's going to work out unless I can pull some strings at Amtrak. So it looks like Deb Green I'm driving.
It's a long drive.
It's a long drive. I'm so sick of that drive.
Do you split it? Do you and Maya both drive?
No, she flies up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I go on vacation earlier than her.
That's true. Okay.
So I'll drive up and then she'll fly up, but she drives back with me.
Can she have the emotional dog with her?
She could be that D-bag. I could see that happening. When we come back, Russ in Gainesville. Plus, does Alex Williams know this food? On Twitter and Instagram at Mark Arum. And Facebook is Mark Arum WSB. That's right. I got it all right. At Mark Arum, MarkArum. Hang tight, Friday edition of The Mark Arum Show. Later, smiling, 90 degrees still on Peachtree Street. Holy smokes. Alex Williams and Russ in Gainesville coming up real quick. Diana's in Loganville. Diana, welcome to the show.
Hey, how you doing?
Excellent. What's going on?
Hey, last summer my husband and I went from Chicago to Seattle, and there was an emotional support dog on our train.
Oh.
And they did let the dog off at every stop. And the funny story is we got to the top of a mountain in Montana, and this was like 8 o'clock at night. And the train ahead of us had broken down, so we were stuck up there for a couple hours. And the smokers were going crazy; they wanted off the train, and they would. And they said they announced only the dog can get off the train.
Wow! How about
and
that? Which mountain in Montana do you know? Because
it was after Whitefish.
All right, because that might be the mountaintop that Low T was conceived on.
I know.
Do you know the peak? Is it Pikes Peak? What mountaintop?
I do not know the peak. I don't know.
Maybe close to there. I don't know. This was in May, and there was
You would have
snow.
seen. They have a big bronze statue that says Low T was conceived
here. There is a memorial there.
Yeah, there is. It's a marker. Let's do, does Alex Williams know this food?
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 That boy don't know what that is.
Generally, that boy doesn't know what that is. Alex Williams, valued member of Triple Team Traffic, joins us live from the traffic center. Alex is an amazing dude, but a very limited food vocabulary. You ready for this edition of Does Alex Williams Know This Food?
Let's give it a go.
I have faith in you. I think you're going to know this one. I think this one's common enough that you'll know it. But as Jason Byer said, you didn't know what eclair was, so maybe you won't get this. All right, here's the food, Alex Williams. The food is muffaletta.
Muffaletta. I think, is that
a type of sandwich.
Hey, good job, little guy.
I got it right.
Did you Google that as you were? I can't see him right now.
I did not Google it. I promise.
It is a type. It's a Cajun, New Orleans centric sandwich. We had them delivered the other day. So yeah, muffaletta.
Maybe that's why he knows.
Is that why you know, Alex?
I wasn't here that day.
That's right. He was in that fancy North Carolina wedding.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they had good food at the wedding, right, little guy?
They did have good food.
What was the one thing you told me you had?
I had some mahi-mahi.
Mahi-mahi, that's right. So now we take that off the list. Alex,
All right, I'll take
Alex
that one
now knows with mahi-mahi. All right, Alex Williams did know that food. Thanks, buddy.
Yes, sir.
Russ joins us in Gainesville, Georgia, on
Come here a minute. I want
a
to talk.
Friday. How are you, Russell?
Hey, I'm great. How you doing?
You have any train experience? You ever take any long train trips?
When I was a kid, but I'll tell you this. Do you remember that girl, Leanne, the Coppertone girl?
Yes. How could we forget the Coppertone girl, Russ?
Yeah, so anyway, she told me yesterday she wanted to come back, so I sent $100 to her in Chattanooga.
Oh, my goodness.
So she gets on the Greyhound at noon today, and she's still not here. And it's only 2 hours away, so I think she's messing me around.
Yeah, I think you just lost a hundo on the Coppertone girl. But what about the Puerto Rican girl? What's her name?
Corrali. Yeah, I got rid of her because Leanne was coming.
I got rid of her.
And now Leanne's not here. She told me, she sent me a message like 5:30 and said, I'm getting on MARTA. I'm in Ackworth, and I said, MARTA doesn't come here. That's the last thing I said, and she didn't answer me after that.
So
MARTA doesn't come
the
to Gainesville.
Coppertone girl said, I'm in Ackworth. I'm taking MARTA. Is that what she said?
That's what she said.
So, but you dropped the bird in the hand for the other one in the bush, is basically what you're saying. So you booted the Puerto Rican girl for the Coppertone girl. What about Mackenzie, the prison girl? When's she getting out of the Hoos Cow?
I haven't heard from her yet. I need to call her or the jail and see if they let her go yesterday because I haven't heard a word from her.
All right. So Russ is out. Just to recap, Russ is out $100. No girl tonight on a Friday night, which is rare for Russ, and we don't know if Mackenzie's out of jail yet. So this is like a soap opera, Days of Our Lives with Russ. So that's where we are. So what are your prospects for tonight, buddy? Are you going to do it? Are you going to go out trolling? What are you doing?
I didn't even really realize it was Friday till you just said that.
Head to the Little Caesars, the Walgreens.
Yeah, well, Taco Bell's got a new menu. Johnny Kilbasa said it's a smaller menu. We want to check that out. Applebee's is always a good spot on a Friday, right?
Yeah, I like to go to the Branch House. There's a place by Holiday Marina. I might go up there.
I'm probably sure they don't want you dropping their name, but that's okay. Maybe Russ will be at the Branch. All right, well, listen, I hope things pick up this weekend. I hope the Coppertone girl shows up from Chattanooga, and I hope Mackenzie gets out of jail. I have a good feeling about this weekend, Russ.
All right, thanks a lot.
All right, there's Russ in Gainesville. My man, be safe, Russ.
I don't think there's MARTA in Ackworth, is there?
There's not MARTA in Ackworth or in Gainesville. Yeah, Russ is out $100. She knows that that's the max I can get out of Russ. You know, the guy she's with is like, ask him for 500. She's like, no. I'm gonna go for 100. Get the Shore Hundo. Professional scammers there. All right, when we come back, comedian Pete Lee in studio, plus Brittany from Accessatl on Twitter and Instagram at Mark Arum. This is The Mark Arum Show. Welcome back to the show and a good Friday Eve to you. Mark Arum here, you there at 7:07, 7 minutes after 7 o'clock. This is the Mark Arum Show, heard Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 p.m. on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. It's a Bulldog bye weekend. Pete Lee in studio, so we're the home of the Georgia Bulldogs.
Yeah.
As a Midwestern dude, I'm assuming you're a Big Ten guy?
I'm a Big Ten guy. I actually went down to Florida and watched the Bulldogs play the Badgers in a bowl game one year. In Tampa, and it was so funny because you guys just creamed us. You guys were so much better. I mean, you have SEC speed.
Yeah, exactly.
But they didn't realize that Wisconsin does something called the fifth quarter, where win or lose, they just get all drunk and then they dance around on the field. And
is that a true story?
Yeah, and we lost so badly, and all the Bulldog fans were like, "Why are these Northerners happy that they lost?
It's the
What's
fifth
wrong?"
quarter.
Yeah.
Pete Lee's in studio. He's a comedian. He's the Punchline this weekend. Since the dogs are off, you have no excuse but to go to the Punchline.
Yeah.
And see Hilarious Pete. He's on stage tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday. Tickets online at punchline.com. Before he dive headfirst back into college football. So off the air, I was explaining to Pete my crazy schedule, and obviously he's a stand-up comedian. He's got a crazy schedule. So he was on the Red Eye this morning from L.A. and then just landed. And you mentioned a sleep aid that you took called Ambien. Everyone knows what Ambien is.
Right now I am heavily on Ambien and coffee, so it's creating a tornado in my brain between the caffeine and the Ambien. But the first time I ever took Ambien, I have an ex-wife. I have one of those, and we were on an airplane.
Welcome to the club.
Oh yeah, it's actually a great club to be in.
Yeah,
like people always say, like, was marriage the happiest day of your life? I'm like, I think the divorce was. I think it was, and since then, every day, it gets even happier. But anyway, I took the Ambien on an airplane. We were flying to Hong Kong to do a documentary, and I took it, and like about 15 minutes into it, she turned into a wolf person.
In your mind?
In
Not
my mind.
in real life. Okay.
In my mind. But then soon after that, I found out that she really was a wolf in real life. And,
so this was how long after you've been married? Was this?
This was like 4 years into marriage.
Okay, so you got the lay of the land.
Yeah,
and you're flying to
Hong Kong.
Hong Kong.
Yeah, I did a documentary. Basically, it was me and Chad Daniels and Tom Segura. We flew over to Asia to see if we could just do comedy in Asia, and we made a documentary about it called "I Need You to Kill." It's on Amazon if people want to watch it. But yeah, so on the way over there, she turned into a wolf because I took Ambien.
So this is, just to recap, this is L.A. to Hong Kong flight?
This actually was a Chicago to Hong Kong.
So even
flight.
longer.
Even longer.
And 15 minutes in, your wife's a werewolf.
Yeah.
Meaning you have 16 hours left of this flight.
Yeah.
And 15 minutes in, your wife's a werewolf.
Yeah, and I'm looking at her, and she'd be talking to me, and she'd be like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "I think I'm tripping because you're turning into a wolf." And she'd be like, "What do you mean?" And the fur on her face would just start like billowing, like a Disney cartoon.
The transformation of Teen Wolf when Michael J. Fox becomes the wolf.
Yeah,
that's what I'm picturing your ex-wife being. Right
yeah.
now.
Oh, she grew full like billowing facial hair, and it was. I mean, it turned out that that's who she really was in real life.
Yeah.
But
you saw into her soul. That's what Ambien does. That should be their tagline.
Yeah,
see into souls.
See into soul.
Ambien.
And that's the only. Well, I can't say that that's the only time that Ambien's made me hallucinate. I had this. One of my buddies I don't know. He likes to give me stupid stuff, so he gave me this owl rug for my bathroom that I was like, this is the dumbest rug, whatever. But being a guy, I'm like, well, yeah, I don't really have a rug.
Who's got a rug in the bathroom?
Yeah, so I'm going to put this down. It feels good when it's cold out. And I would be sitting down on the toilet before going to bed because on Ambien, you're kind of wavy. You don't really want to be standing. And I'd be looking down at the owl, and the owl would just kind of wink at me. And I was like, "Oh, this stuff's strong." And I'd be like, "Owl, I know you're not winking at me." And the owl would look at me and like just wink again. Like, no.
Now you're selling Ambien to me. So I've had friends that took it, and a lot of them described sleep eating, where they would go to sleep, take Ambien, go to sleep, and at some point during the night, wake up and eat a whole rotisserie chicken out of the fridge and not even know it.
Oh my God. No, I have sleep apnea, so I sleep with one of those the mask that's tethered to the machine. So like if I got up,
anchored.
the machine would be on the floor and I'd be dragging the power cord behind me if I was trying to go sleep.
I want to see my owl rug wink. Pete Lee's in studio, is a fantastic comedian. He is the Punchline tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday. Tickets available on punchline.com. I know you've been on the late night shows, including Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah.
What's that experience like? What's just, I mean, this is like the prime landing spot for stand-up comedians. How do they treat you? What's the whole process like on that?
It's amazing. And I'm about to do my 5th Tonight Show appearance coming up here in about a month. So I'm actually going to be running that set when I'm at the Punchline all week. And also I'm submitting for a Netflix special. So people are going to see my Tonight Show set right up front, and then they're going to see me run my Netflix hour, essentially. So the people that are coming out are going to get a really good show. A lot of times I'm tinkering with things, this is the finished product. But anyway, yeah, I have a story about how I got on the Tonight Show. I was on a show on True TV. Do you guys know True TV?
I've heard of it for sure. I couldn't tell you what number on the.
Yeah, it's a network that should be called If a Tree Falls in the Woods because nobody really watches it. And so we would just make TV shows and we would send in the final cut to the big bosses, and they'd be like, okay, like there was no feedback, nothing. I don't think anybody watched our show. And so a friend of mine was like, well, if you want your career to go somewhere, you need to do that book, The Secret. And
I've heard of it.
Yeah, like you put things into the universe and then they come true. Yeah, I think it's kind of hogwash, or I thought it was. So I was like, well, I'm not gonna read it. I'm gonna watch the documentary on YouTube. So I watched the documentary on YouTube, and midway through, it goes, now's the time where you pause this program and you wish for something unreasonable.
So let me get this straight, not to interrupt Pete Lee.
Yeah.
Instead of reading the book, you're going to watch the book on YouTube.
I watched the book on YouTube, and then I wished for something unreasonable.
Yeah.
And I heard my friend Nate Bargatze, Jimmy Fallon, I heard that he came to the stand and discovered him, and then they did a sitcom together. And so I was like, you know what? I know that Jimmy lives across the street from this comedy club. I'm going to wish for him to come in and see me. That's all I want. And so the next thing I know, I get an email that I get a Tonight Show showcase that Sunday. And then I'm standing at the bar with my whiskey because I'm nervous.
Yeah.
And the manager of the club walks by and was like, hey, Pete. She looked at me like, you don't know who's behind me. Then my manager, Dave, looked at me like, you have no idea who's behind me. The next guy was like, hey, Pete, I'm Jimmy Fallon. Hey, nice to meet you. Dave told me to come see you, and blah, blah, blah.
This is before your set?
This is before my set.
Oh, God,
and
why would they do that to you?
I don't know, but like my heart was pounding on my chest, and I look at Jimmy Fallon, and I go, oh, my God, the secret is real. Those were the first words I said to Jimmy Fallon. And so he's like, I don't know what that means, but I'll see you downstairs, Pete. He's like the nicest guy in the world.
Absolutely.
So I'm on stage and I'm performing. I'm doing my showcase for him. And I tell a joke where I say, I go, I never want to offend anybody. Like the other day, this guy sneezed and I wanted to say bless you, but instead I said happy holidays. And
that's a great joke.
It's a great joke,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
It's a good joke for the 2017s through 2019s where we don't want to offend anybody. And anyway, so Jimmy stands up and he claps his hands and he goes, yes. He goes, I love this guy. And I'm like standing there like, wait, is this really happening?
Yeah.
And so I was like, thank you, sir, or Jimmy. I don't know what I can call you.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to say I love your Tonight Show, but instead I go, I love your impulse control. And he's like, thanks, I have none. And then right immediately after that, I got invited on the show.
That's amazing.
And then I go on the show, and it's crazy. You get there, and like Jimmy comes and hangs out with you.
Yeah.
He comes into your green room. He hangs out with you and your friends. It's so funny, like like we were talking about. Nikki Glazer's my best friend.
Yeah.
So I've been there once where he came in and like the three of us all hung out. It was like surreal. It was so cool. But yeah, I got on my first Tonight Show. I got a standing ovation, and it was pretty crazy. And then I get done with it, and Gisele Bundchen, Tom Brady's wife, just like meets me in the hallway, and she's like, "That was so good," and we're like jumping up and down, holding hands.
Tell me she gave you her number.
No, she didn't, but I did get to ask her about Tom Brady. I was like, how long's Tom going to play football? And she goes, he told me he's going to die on the football field.
Wow. Let's hope not.
Yeah.
Pete Lee and Studio. The best part of that whole story, and it's an amazing story, is the laziness that comics have, because you didn't want to read the book. You didn't go out and get the Cliff Notes version.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I'll just pull it up on YouTube and watch that. I respect that kind of laziness, my friend. That's very good.
You can make your dreams come true even with ultimate laziness.
On the couch watching YouTube is how those dreams get done.
Yeah.
Pete Lee in studio on the Mark Arum Show. He's at the Punchline tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday. Check him out. Tickets online at punchline.com. You mentioned Netflix. How does that work? I mean, they are just like the comedian's best friend right now. How do you pitch to them, I want to do a special? How does that work?
Yeah, well, I'm lucky enough to have the manager, basically the same manager as Nikki and Nate Bargatze and Jim Gaffigan and a lot of big name people. So they have Netflix's ear already. And so I essentially have to make a tape this weekend at the Punchline.
Gotcha.
And it's gonna be an hour that's as tight as a late night set for a whole hour.
Sure.
And I won't let up. Like even if people are like, I can't breathe, I'm gonna be like, well, get used to it because I'm going. I'm going. I got to sell this to Netflix. Then you present it to Netflix. They watch it, and a lot of times they don't really even give you notes. It's just kind of pass fail.
Yeah.
And then if they like it, then you structure a deal and they pay you a lot of money and all that kind of stuff. I want that Netflix money. I'm not getting like Chappelle $60 million.
Sure, but still, well, I don't even think more than the money, and this is coming from someone outside the business, obviously, but I think that's like just a feather in the cap. Like the way that it used to be HBO One Night Stand.
Yeah.
Like that was a nice thing to have on your resume, Where a Netflix thing is now, it's like, oh, okay, I've got Netflix on my resume.
Yeah, I mean, I've done a Comedy Central special, and when I did that, that was really the big feather in the cap. You go, I have a Comedy Central special, and I'm on a TV show on Comedy Central. I'm on This Week at the Comedy Cellar. You know, I'm one of the stars of the show.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean as much as it used to.
Sure.
That Netflix special is the thing. And so, you know, I don't know. Maybe it's external validation. I don't know what it is.
That's the same way in any career, though. Whether you're selling aluminum siding or whatever, there's certain goals or pats on the back that you get in your career, and I definitely think the Netflix special is one of them. Can you hang out one more segment?
Of course.
All right. Pete Lee's in studio. We wish everybody a happy holidays, in case you just sneezed. He's at the Punchline Comedy Club tonight in Buckhead, and the Bulldogs are off. I mean, you literally have no excuse to not to go see his show tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday, and you'll get a preview of his big Netflix special.
Yes.
Which will air at some point in 2020, I'm sure. Hang tight. We'll be right back with Pete Lee. This is The Mark Arum Show. Welcome back to the Friday edition of The Mark Arum Show. Still to come, what's cooking this weekend around town with Brittany Tannenbaum from Accessatl. But I already told you what's cooking around town tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday. You're heading up to Buckhead Way, folks. Pete Lee at the Punchline. Tickets available online at punchline.com. Is this your first time in Atlanta, Pete?
I've been here before. I performed at universities around here, but I've never performed at the Punchline.
The old college tour.
The old college tour, yeah. And, you know, I mean, colleges nowadays, you go in there and it's,
it's different.
You can end your career.
Yeah, exactly right. Because I mean, well, a lot of it is, I mean, it's the different, you referenced the 2017 to 2019 era of comedy, and that is definitely the case in college campuses where it's super hyper and everything is elevated, but the cell phone videos will get you now too.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I'm a comedian that believes that comedians should be able to say whatever they want. I just don't personally do that.
Sure.
You know, I don't ever want to offend anybody. Like I have a line in my set where I say I hate conflict unless you guys like it, and then I love it. You know, like I'm a very affable gentleman. I don't ruffle feathers, but
the Midwestern roots are coming through right there.
But I will be on a college campus, and you just can tell who it is, and they'll be watching your act, and if you even start to bring up a subject that they think might be inflammatory, they will get their cell phones out and point them at you, and I'm always looking at them like, I choose my words so carefully. You are not gonna get me.
Yeah.
I am not gonna be canceled. You know. Cancel culture is so funny to me, like, because here's why you can't cancel stuff, because everything that we like, at least one bad person made it. You know, all the hipsters hang out at those bourbon bars, right? Can you tell me that in the hills of Kentucky, the bourbon brewmasters are like, oh my stars, I am woke AF. I love two things.
I always use this example. I'm a Jewish fella.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's tapes of Mel Gibson not being very nice to my religion, but damn it, if a Mel Gibson movie's on, I'm watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. I mean, I love Dr. Pepper. It's a delicious beverage.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that the inventor of Dr. Pepper was a woke man.
Yeah. No.
You know, like it's just, I don't know. I think that you got to draw the line somewhere with that stuff, and I try to personally not offend anybody. Like I have very joyful humor. I'm pure joy in a person. I joke around and I say that I'm like if CBD oil had a mascot, you know?
Hey, it's Pete Lee.
Yeah, hey, I just want to make everybody happy.
You and a big winking owl.
Yeah.
Real quick, how can we follow you online and all that good stuff?
Follow me on Instagram. I couldn't get Pete Lee, so my Instagram is Pete Lee, Pete Lee, Pete Lee. I'm on Twitter at Pete Lee Tweets. It kind of sounds like the horn of a moped. It's like Pete Lee Tweets. And my website is petelee.net.
Beautiful. Couldn't get that .com. Son of a
Couldn't
biscuit.
get it. Still can't get it.
That's all right, brother. All right, Pete, great to meet you. We'll see you at the Punchline this weekend, buddy.
Thank you so much.
News, weather, and traffic next. Hang tight. This is The Mark Arum Show. Welcome back. Friday edition of The Mark Arum Show on Twitter and Instagram at Mark Arum. Thanks to Pete Lee, hilarious comedian. Last segment. He's at the Punchline tonight. If you aren't going to the Punchline, don't worry. There's a lot of drinking events around Metro Atlanta today. Joining us, as she does every Friday from Accessatl, our dear, dear friend, Brittany Tannenbaum. How are you, Britt?
I'm great. Cheers, baby.
Cheers, baby is right.
Friday.
So, you know, a lot of the Mark Arum Show listeners obviously like to imbibe, and this might be the weekend for them. There's a lot of drinking events around
Yeah, they're
town.
all drunks that listen to your show.
Not all of them.
I'm just kidding.
A good portion.
Yeah, so we got the Beltline Wine Stroll. This is awesome. You just get to basically stroll around about the Atlanta East Side Trail of the Beltline and sip on all kinds of wines from different venues, including Barcelona, Lady Bird. Didn't you go to Lady Bird recently, I think, maybe?
Yes.
For some cocktails? Did
Yes,
you like it?
I did. It was very good.
Bread and Butterfly, and of course, Shake Shack will be participating as well. Tickets for that are $55. If wine stroll isn't your thing, and maybe mimosas are more of your
I
guilty
will not
pleasure.
turn down a mimosa at the
Yeah.
right time in the right event.
Yeah, I feel like as I've gotten older, the morning drinking just goes like less and less.
Yeah.
Is that accurate?
Understood.
So Historic Fourth Ward Skate Park is hosting this Atlanta Mimosa Festival. You can sip on all kinds of mimosas with a variety of different kinds of orange juice flavors. If you're not into mimosas, don't worry. They got you covered with peach bellinis and Bloody Marys, a selection of beer, wine, and cider. Those tickets are going for $60 to participate in the Atlanta Mimosa Wine Festival.
Beautiful.
And then let's just say you don't want to drink. Six Flags has their Fright Fest going on. And I think it's in like a week, sometime in October. Well, we're almost in October. They have this 30-hour coffin challenge.
I saw that. No way in hell.
How much would someone have to bribe you for you to get in that coffin for 30 hours?
North of $500,000.
No.
Yeah.
You wouldn't do it for like 15, 20 grand?
No, not a chance.
30?
Nope. Literally, $500,000 would be the starting point for negotiations. I am so claustrophobic. Forget about it. Not a chance in hell.
But I think that they let you, like, stick your head out, right?
I don't know. I no.
I looked at some pictures, and I mean, these people they're just
forget it. $500,000. If I was a struggling college kid, all right, $1,000 I'll do it. But now, no, $500,000.
Okay, all right.
So if you want me in there, Brittany, you got to tap
$500,000.
into the
I'll let Six
Access
Flags
Atlanta.
know
Yes,
if they want
exactly.
if they want Mark Arum in the coffin. It's going to be half a mil.
$500K.
Totes.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about food. So
yes,
it's Brittany's birthday on Sunday, and I heard through the grapevine that.
Can I tell you something really funny?
Yes,
really
please.
quickly. Yesterday, I went to go get my eyebrows done at the nail salon,
Yes.
and I'm laying down on the thing, and she goes, "So you're in high school, right?" I go,
Nice.
"Oh my God, you just made my year." I
She
go,
works
"I'm turning
on tips, Brittany. She works on tips.
Right, exactly. So maybe that's why she.
Did you
was
get them
telling me that.
threaded? Is that a thing?
No, I don't. I can't do threading.
All right.
And the funny thing is when I tweeze, I don't let them tweeze me because
Yeah.
it just hurts too bad.
So what they do
So
is
it's like
wax
put
'em?
the wax on, get it off,
Wax
and then
on,
we're
wax
done.
off.
Wax on, wax off.
You know what movie that's from? Karate Kid. We'll
yeah.
be here all day. All right, so it's your birthday
Yes.
Sunday, and you're celebrating your birthday with what might be the greatest restaurant in Atlanta that I've never been to, believe it or not.
Right. So Josh told me that he said that first of all, he didn't tell me where we were going.
Yes.
And so then, of course, he gave me a clue and just said, we've both never been there.
Okay.
So then I start kind of doing deductive
Piccadilly.
reasoning and, right. Yeah, exactly. And kind of go through the list, and then I start guessing, and I guess Staple House. And then he did a eye roll emoji
Yes.
and so, of course, I thought that, I got it right.
So Staple House, folks, is like this award-winning restaurant, and they have like a fixed menu. So you go in there. There's not even a menu you order from. You just tell the server if you're a vegetarian or not, and then they have 2 dinners laid out for you, and it's many courses, and it's phenomenal. Maya went with her girlfriend and loved it, and I'm very jealous you're going on Sunday.
Well, we're going tonight, actually.
Tonight? I'm
Yes.
sorry. Oh.
Tomorrow night's Hal's, tonight's Staple House.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
And then Sunday night is Rosh Hashanah. It's Erev Rosh Hashanah, so we'll
Yeah.
be eating like matzo ball soup.
Which is also very delicious.
yeah.
Oh, so you got to get out of here soon. All right.
I know.
don't want to keep
but
you.
I'm glad you said that they have like if you tell them that you're a vegetarian, they'll accommodate you, because I was kind of worried about that. I'm like
Yes.
I'm a little bit more picky than he is, so I was a little bit worried, but I'm just
they'll
going to
do
go with it.
Like, so I've been to those types of restaurants before, most notably the French Laundry.
Yes.
Out in Napa. And we had, it was a big group, and one person was allergic to shellfish, one person was a vegetarian, one person was a vegan.
So they'll accommodate you accordingly.
Absolutely, absolutely. So speaking of food, last night I went to...
I know. Where were you?
I
was
it was
jealous.
a fundraiser event for Open Hand Atlanta. It was Party in the Kitchen over off of Armour Drive and Monroe.
And what were they
my
serving up?
God. Oh, my God. It was so good. Like, the best restaurants in Atlanta all made one dish and served like little appetizer portions of it. So you had Rathbun's there, and you had Arnett's Chop Shop there.
I
and
love their bar.
Amazing.
Arnett's bar is amazing.
So I had this thing, and I'm going to give a shout out to Sean Doty, a famous chef here in Metro Atlanta. He owns a place called The Federal, and The Federal had these little Wagyu sliders. I could have eaten 100 of them. I mean, they're little burgers. You know what a slider is. And they're the Wagyu Japanese beef.
Yum.
Blew my mind, Brittany. It was so good.
All right, so they're going to cater next week, right?
Listen, Chef Doty, if you're listening, bring those puppies in. And Bangers and Mash from Fox Brothers Barbecue, which was amazing. Like the best mashed potatoes and little sausage. Anyway, it was a great event. Thank you for having me. Open-handed Atlanta Party in the Kitchen. It was awesome. Pales in comparison, perhaps, to your upcoming food weekend. But I expect you to text me food pictures.
Are y'all eating anywhere fun tonight? Or Saturday or Sunday?
No. What do we got? We got a birthday dinner tomorrow night somewhere. Oh, Barcelona. Barcelona. But nothing compared to yours. I mean, as long as your boyfriend doesn't get mad, I would really appreciate you to text me food pictures throughout.
Every course?
Yeah.
You want every?
Yeah. Just
Okay.
or at the end of the meal, whatever's easiest.
Okay.
Brittany, always
keep you
a pleasure.
updated.
Happy early birthday.
Thanks, man.
And we can follow you on social media where?
Yes. Follow my tasting Staple House course menu at Britt Elise, BrittIlise, and then at Access Atlanta is at Access ATL.
And everything available on WSBTV.com.
Yep, we're on the streaming devices, aka Roku, aka Apple TV. What am I missing?
That's
Amazon
it.
Fire Stick.
Amazon Fire Stick.
Yeah, there's so many.
She's got the Fire Stick. All right, happy early birthday, buddy.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Brittany. Back in studio with Low T and Deb Green. Longoria still enjoying his. I assume he's enjoying his vacation in Disney World.
It is the happiest place on earth.
I think he's left there because he sent me a text today.
Yeah,
of
he's
pictures
home.
of Whataburger.
Or
Well, I think
he's
he
on
might
his
be
way.
driving
Yeah,
back.
he's on his way.
Yeah, and Longoria I mean, he loves Whataburger more than his kids.
So my family's from Texas,
Yeah.
and the minute they get to a Whataburger, although they call it Whataburger,
Whataburger.
it's a big deal for them.
It was. I'd never been to. There's one in on the Florida Panhandle, and Longoria said, "You got to go to Whataburger." It's really good. It was really, really good, and it was jammed, but not as good as the burger I mentioned to Brittany. So last night I went to the Party in the Kitchen, which benefited Open Hand Atlanta, and it was awesome. First of all, what was great about it was it's on the northeast side of town off of Armour Drive in Monroe, and Waze got me there. And instead of taking me directly to the entrance, it sent me this back way. I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I'll just trust Waze. So if I'd went the normal way, there was like a 100 car deep line to get in the valet.
Oh,
but since it moved me around, I was like, whoosh, it was perfect.
Nice.
Yeah, so I tipped my hat to Waze. I mean, you should get the Triple Team Traffic Alerts app, but Waze was clutch. I was like, well, I'm just going to trust it. It's looping me around, and it was perfect. So we get in there, and it's these chefs, the best chefs from all around Metro Atlanta. Kevin Rathbun, good stuff. But they had, I'm so excited about these burgers. They had these Wagyu beef sliders.
Okay.
And these are the things, like all these restaurants have these little tasting things, like Fox Brothers Barbecue had little bangers and mash, like a little plate, and like all these things. And so this place had these little Wagyu sliders. And I went up there, and I was like, I don't want to be a jerk. I'm like, I'm taking two, one's for my girlfriend. And Lay's like, I don't care how many you take, man. Take as many as you want. Yeah, it's free. It's paid for. So I went and took them back, and Maya ate hers, and I ate mine. And I was like, just jaw-dropping, like just delicious. So I was like, all right, I'm going to go get some more. And I'm like, I'm coming back, two more for my girlfriend, even though Maya didn't want any more. So, so I had two more of them.
Yeah.
But it was awesome. It was really, really good.
That was a highlight of the night.
For me, but that one, I forgot what restaurant was, but they made homemade SpaghettiOs.
Homemade SpaghettiOs.
Okay. Yeah, so like
With
fancy
meatballs?
SpaghettiOs.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was really good. So instead of like regular pasta, they
Yeah.
made their own little
Those
SpaghettiOs with meatballs in them.
Wow.
That was really, everything was fantastic, and it all benefited Open Hand Atlanta. And I met a couple of listeners.
Oh, nice.
This one guy's like, "Why aren't you on the air?" I was like, "Well, Coach Kirby Smart, took over on Thursday, and I'm hungry, so there's two
so
for
I'm
one." But yeah, it was a good time. So thanks for the invite. Party in the Kitchen benefiting Open Door Atlanta. Next year, I'm gonna see if we can all go.
That'd be cool.
Because it was, I mean, it was a great event. There's the live auction and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But the food was phenomenal.
They got booze?
Yeah.
Okay.
Open bar.
I'm there.
Yeah. But they had specialty drinks. I only had one drink.
I'm not a specialty drink guy. I don't care for those.
No, but there was no wait for it. It was here's, But I think they had an open bar.
It's probably like our Christmas party where they'll have a couple ready to go, and then you can get something else if you want.
Right. Yeah. All right, real quick, what are you guys doing this week? Anything big, Chuck?
No. Last weekend the pool's open at our place.
Yeah.
So we'll probably do a pool thing.
My homeowner association says we're keeping the pool open longer.
Because it's so hot.
Because it's so hot.
I wish they would, but we got a new management company, and they're like, nope.
Yeah. October 15th is when our pool. So if you want to come swim in
All
our
right,
pool.
cool.
What do you got cooking, Deb Green? Any
I
concerts?
do not have a music festival this weekend.
Nice.
I'm actually going to be pretty low-key. I think just the cul-de-sac, hang out at the pool type thing.
All right.
Yeah.
Very cool.
It's Knott's Landing where I live.
The cul-de-sac. That does sound very like
Oh my
Melrose
God.
Place. It
It's-
sounds
yes,
a little Melrose
I
Place.
totally do not fit in there, yeah.
The Real Housewives of Alpharetta.
Basically.
All right. Hang tight. We got one more segment to go. This is The Mark Arum Show. Welcome back. Final segment of The Mark Arum Show. Thanks again to comedian Pete Lee. He's at the Punchline tonight. I'm going to go see him Sunday. He was a really nice guy, really funny guy.
He's a Midwesterner.
Yeah, he's a Midwesterner, exactly. And Brittany from Accessatl, as always. What do we got coming up next week on the show, Deb? Well, I'm off Monday for
that's
Rosh
right.
Hashanah.
You
Happy
are.
New Year to all my fellow Hebrews out there. So I don't know what you guys are doing Monday. Do we know?
I'll be here Monday.
You'll be here Monday?
Yeah.
All right. And then regular stuff? the rest
Regular
of the
stuff
week?
for the rest of the week.
All right,
Yep.
we got Millennial Match Game, Johnny Kilbasa. Remind me to text Johnny, Chuck, so he doesn't do a football minute on Monday. He'll
Okay.
be really mad if he does that prep and then we don't get it.
And then
on.
you don't do it.
All right. Let's do star of the show. I head faked yesterday to Jason Byers and gave it to my girlfriend. I felt bad about that all night. So Jason Byers is going to get star of the show. He did a great job.
Yes.
He did
Clap
very
for
well.
Jason Byers.
Yes, he
filling
did
in
very
for
well.
Longoria. That's a tough set of moccasins to fill. 'Cause he's an Eskimo. Get it? All right. We'll continue the conversation on Twitter and Instagram at Mark Arum, Facebook Mark Arum WSB. In the meantime, go to sleep, little baby.